Okay, I'm having a feedback. I'm not sure where is it coming from. Okay, Shane, can you sort that one out? So we also offer secretarial services, where we have company registrations, company amendments, and we have audits, which is your internal and external audit and audit readiness, because auditors charge hourly rates as well. So you need to be audit ready. We also have human resource, but we specialize in structuring your finance department, placing people, rightful people within your organization, within our HR leg. And we have consulting as well, which is your business process. I think if you have listened to the video that we're playing when we're starting, and your performance management setup is very key and central to our services as well. So Brainmoy is a company that was established in 2014, and have helped a lot of small to medium business enterprises, giving them financial clarity for sustainable growth. So we are always tell our clients and most people that we are accountability partners, meaning to say we hold you accountable to your financial goals, and we help track progress in various ways within your company. So we are accountability partners. That is actually our tagline, because we don't look at just accounting, bookkeeping, but we look at all the facets of your business. That's why we partner with partners like Merchant Capital and Anchor Capital, with the investment leg. Should you have a lot of funds that you have, how do you invest, etc. So those are the partners as well, because we look at the growth of a business in totality. So in other words, we facilitate your growth, and we are business advocates. We respect your interest, and we help you navigate complex financial landscape as well. We live by the accountability partner mantra each and every day. So this is who we are as a firm. So just before I hand over or introduce our important guests for the day, I just want to have a poll so that we can understand the audience that we have, because I think when he is giving when he is giving the case study, he also need to tailor make it to the industry of the audience that we have. What industry does your business operate in? So you're going to see a poll that is going to run now. Are you a retail, e-commerce? Are you professional service? Are you in manufacturing? Are you in food and hospitality, technology and software? What industry are you in? So you can just fill in there so that at least we can have a feel of who you are. Okay. I see. Okay, people are still, we're just going to give you another minute to understand which industry you are in. Okay, so from this poll, I don't know if everyone have voted so far. We have 67% in professional services, and we have about 13% in retail, and we have food and hospitality, 7%, technology and software, 7% as well. So if you are, because this webinar is live streamed, if you on our live chats as well, you are welcome to type in the comment section the industry that you are in. Thank you very much for that. So I'm just going to introduce our special guests for the day. Okay, so our special guests come from a company called Merchant Capital, which was founded in 2012. And this company has revolutionized how small businesses access working capital in the market. The company has been dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs as a leading South African fintech company, specializing in innovative short-term funding. So they offer alternative funding solution. They specialize in that, and they provide innovative cash advance solutions, especially designed to small to medium enterprises. And they have a rapid approval processes. And I know that their funding decisions doesn't take ages like your traditional banks. And so within 24 to 48 hours, or if you have everything that they need, I think you would have had your funding. And they have flexible repayment structures as well. But I think you are going to hear more from Alfred. So Alfred, the guest speaker for today, Alfred Rwanda, is a senior business development manager at Merchant Capital. He has 10 or more years in the industry in financing small to medium enterprise with growth strategies around financing. He has facilitated a lot of funding across multiple sectors, and he is actually a specialist. So please make use and take an advantage of him. Ask any question for your business growth so that at least you understand that your company, you understand your company needs and how Merchant Capital can actually help you further grow in your business. So over to you, Alfred. Thank you very much for honoring this appointment to talk to our clients and make sure that they are able to access the funding. So over to you.
Fantastic. Mollen, thank you so much. And thank you so much to the viewership and the attendees of the webinar. I really do appreciate the kind introduction. I would like to just share a quick presentation on the product that we are extending to business owners throughout South Africa. Would you just kindly let me know if you can see my screen? And I will just stop my video for network purposes.
Yes, we can see your screen. Thanks.
Perfect. So as Merchant Capital, we specialize in assisting SMEs to grow. We have been around since 2012, and we've made a significant impact into the economy since inception. As a business, we partner quite well. Now, I'll just like to make mention, of the few partners that we've aligned with over the last couple of years and some of the achievements that we've managed to get by. So we funded billions to thousands of SMEs since 2012. We launched our healthcare offering in 2020, which has dispersed over 600 million to 2,500 medical practitioners. We do have shareholders, strategic shareholders, such as Capricorn Capital and Standard Bank. And we're also the founding member of the South African SME Finance Association. This is essentially a self-regulating body for alternative SME funders that ensures that with the space that we're operating in, we're all practicing responsible lending. It is a particular space whereby individuals could take advantage of perhaps clients that are desperate for capital, charging ridiculous rates, extending too much of a facility where businesses cannot afford that. So this particular body ensures we're practicing responsible lending. Now, as I touched on earlier, we partner quite well, and some of these big partners we've aligned ourselves with are Standard Bank, Discovery Health, Pages Now, and the likes of iProtect, Standard Bank Sharia Banking, WebPoint, Outron Health, Genoa, Odyssey, Anchor Capital, AdPay, and GoodX. The impact we've had so far is we've dispersed 15 billion into the SME market in South Africa, assisting over 60,000 businesses. Now, this is not just because we're in love with the numbers, but we believe that every business has a bigger story, one worth backing. Now, why would one choose a merchant cash advance? I'll just like to highlight, the key benefits or features of this particular product. It's an unsecured short-term lending solution. By unsecured, I mean we don't ask for any collateral to be pledged. Not everyone has collateral that they can put down for them to access funding to grow their business. And by short term, what I mean is we offer terms of anything between 1 month to 12 months to pay off that facility. There are certain cases where we understand a business is large enough, or the requirement requires maybe a bit more of a term to pay off. So in certain cases, we can extend ourselves to maybe 15 or 18 months, but we do view that on a case-by-case basis. Our repayments are quite flexible. Traditionally, when you take out a loan from the bank, you're looking at a monthly debit order. We implement what we know as a pay-as-you trade. So we could either implement a daily debit order into the business, whereby at the end of a trading day, a small debit order would come off that pays off your facility, be it over the 3, 6, 9, or 12-month period. We do, however, understand not all businesses can sustain a daily debit order. So for larger businesses that are most likely receiving EFT payments, and these will be in your professional services industries, we can implement a weekly debit order. Now, the reason why we've opted for a daily or weekly collection is because we fully understand that at the end of the month, you do have other obligations, wages and salaries, suppliers need to be paid, bills need to be paid. So the last thing we want is to put another lump sum that would burden you. So we essentially collect as the month is going by, as your business is trading. And last but not least, for the retailers out there who use specific speed points, likely Standard Bank, we can collect through the point of transaction. So a quick example would be every time a customer swipes to make a payment in your business, we collect a small percentage of that transaction at the point of sale, which pays off your loan. The remainder is banked into your business bank account. So on days where you don't trade, Merchant Capital does not collect. But on days where there's more transactions than usual, Merchant Capital is still collecting a small percentage of each of those transactions as a way of paying off your loan. Now, we are an entrepreneurial-led business, so we do understand that certain decisions need to be made on the fly. For that very reason, we don't prescribe what you as a business owner uses the funds for. We strongly encourage that you use the capital in a way that grows and enhances your business. But for an example, you could apply for capital maybe to purchase some stock. Then you realize the fridge is broken, or this piece of machinery is not fully functional and it needs to be repaired. You've got that freedom to make that quick decision and channel the funds that you intended to purchase stock, but to attend to the broken equipment or the new fridge that you'd like to purchase for your business. And last but not least, there's a minimal documentation process with Merchant Capital. Gone are the days where you have to send through financials and management accounts and balance sheets. We simply look at maybe 12 months bank statements, a lease agreement, CK document, and a few supplier statements. With that information, we'll be fully equipped to turn around that application within the 2 days that we offer. Why partner up with Merchant Capital? This is because it's easy for us to partner with you. We offer very quick turnaround times, and we've got high approval rates. Now, across the board, we've got a Sharia compliant offering, and this speaks to the Muslim demographic. We do understand that they cannot consume interest due to their religion. So what we've done is we've partnered up with Standard Bank to ensure that we've got a product that's fully Sharia certified, allowing them to consume this particular product in growing their businesses. Some of the key industries that we've extended facilities to over the last couple of years include building and hardware, fuel service stations, fast food and restaurants, automotive stores, hairdressing and beauty, manufacturing, e-commerce, liquor stores, health and wellness, supermarkets, homeware and electronics, and last but not least, medical practitioners. However, it's not limited to these particular industries. We do extend facilities across the board. We just need to ensure that the volumes in terms of transactions are sufficient, the turnover in terms of the minimum requirements are met, which is at least 50,000 rands per month, and the business has been trading for long enough, which is 1 year minimum trading time. Now, how strategic funding unlocks growth? I would like to throw in an example here. I mean, there are various examples I could use in terms of businesses that have utilized our funds in a way that have grown them. But an example that's coming top to mind is a restaurant chain that we have that was operating in a specific part of Johannesburg. They approached us during COVID, where, as you know, if you're a restaurant owner, your liquor sales are essentially your money makers. Now, the president would have announced that liquor sales are not allowed. You're only permitted to trade between 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. Now, that was a bit of a hindrance, for this particular business. They came through to us looking for capital just to plug a couple of holes and to keep them afloat until such a point where liquor sales were now permitted. This particular business owner utilized the merchant capital funds to run a bit of a renovation across their three restaurant chains. It's a restaurant where you'd be queuing up to actually sit and have a meal. They essentially realize that the demand is quite high, for the service that they're offering and the experience that they're offering. So over a period of 3 years, they took facilities to renovate, to purchase stock until they decided now is the time for me to grow. They have since opened up a new restaurant within another part of Johannesburg, the same restaurant chain, and now they're accommodating more individuals as opposed to individuals coming through to that one specific location. They now have two different sites that they can service their clients, offer great a customer experience, and grow their businesses. And I do believe there is potential for another store to be opened. So one way in which our funds could be used is once you've realized that your business is thriving and there is a very big demand for your particular service, you can open up a new store with the funds of Merchant Capital. Now, with all of that in mind, I think the next chapter starts now. You could be in a position where you just want to keep afloat. You could be in a position where you now want to grow. You now want to expand and offer new product ranges. You now want to offer different services. Or you want to venture into another industry because you've really understood the way you're working within your particular industry and want to spread that out across various others. There is a little short story and a little video that really depicts what we do as Merchant Capital, the impacts that we're making, understanding that businesses start from somewhere and they end up at a particular point where they're really realizing their dreams and operating in a way that they would have imagined. So just join me in watching this video. I think it's a true depiction of the impact that Merchant Capital could have.
For an example, you didn't get this far by dreaming small. You made time, made mistakes. You made big plans. You took the little wins. The bigger losses, all in your stride. You've come so far. But to get to where you're going, you're gonna need a boost.
T-minus 20 to transfer.
Ready.
Ready.
Here we go.
Merchant Capital.
I get goosebumps every single time I watch that video, but essentially that's who we are as Merchant Capital. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
You didn't get this far.
Marlon,
Thank
over to
you
you.
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alfred, for sharing with us who you are and how our clients will be able to benefit from alternative funding. So I have a couple of questions, and some questions are also on the chat. So Shane, can you just send them through as well to my number on WhatsApp as well, so that I can go through? So Alfred, I know as Brentmore Chartered Accountants, we work with a lot of small to medium businesses, and one of the critical issue is funding. Can you please elaborate or maybe re-emphasize why are SMEs turning to alternative funding? Because I think if you look at the stats as well, it shows that many businesses are turning to alternative funding instead of the traditional bank loans or funding from the banks. Can you clarify that for us?
Thank you so much, Molin. I think what we've realized is traditional finance just isn't built for the pace and the pressures that SMEs do face. You're experiencing long applications, there's collateral that is required, there's slow turnaround times, which make it hard for business owners to act very quickly. We offer fast, flexible, and capital designed that's meet to meet business owners where they are. So they can say yes to opportunities now as opposed to weeks later, where that opportunity, that door could be closed. So it's very quick for us to assist a business owner at a point of their need.
Yes, because I know, like, one thing that I like from your conversation is you don't really go into detail what are you using that for, as long as it's a business
Yeah.
that needs funding. Those are the things because sometimes it's about working capital, it's about something that needs fixing, and you won't need to submit financials, a lot of documents that banks normally require, which is actually an advantage there. So my next question
Exactly.
is, what are the most common, I know, around there are myths. I used to think, also even myself, I used to think or have a misconception that the traditional funding is the only way of funding. What are the myths around alternative funding, or the misconceptions that you want to a bit dispel around funding, around alternative funding methods like what you guys offer?
Thank you. Thank you, Molin. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that we are expensive or risky. But in reality, responsible alternative lenders such as Merchant Capital were regulated. I would have touched on the fact that we are the founding member of SASFA, a governing body that ensures we practice responsible lending. We are transparent and focused on sustainable growth. In the event that we see potentially that an applicant right now has a facility with a competing lender, we won't just throw in another lump sum of a loan into that particular business. We would need to ensure that we've settled that facility that they have with the competitor. Then the balance that is left over is paid into that business owner. That's coming from us understanding that two loan facilities could probably put that business under pressure. Now, another myth is that we need perfect financials. We fund based on real world trading performance. It's not just a credit score and putting, the company profile into a particular system. Then if it spits out a decline, we then decline the client. We understand that there's more information that we need to receive. There's more detail that we need to look at. And we'd like to tailor make that solution for the client and ensuring that we found a way to say yes than automatically saying no.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, because it's very, very important for our audience as well and our clients that to understand how the funding or where or the myths that you just dispelled, that because many people just think, no, this is expensive, but in actual fact, it will help the business to grow. So I have also a couple of questions. People are putting their questions. Continue to send them in, send them through. Do you fund NGOs, law firms, or even startups? So maybe you can touch up around the industries that you have helped so far, because I have a question around NGOs, law firms, and startup people who have an idea. You are muted, Alfred. You are muted.
I do apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
I think it's important to understand the minimum criteria. So we fund businesses that have been operating for at least 12 months. We also
Okay.
need businesses to be doing or turning over at least 50,000 rands in sales per month. And essentially would like the business owners to be of South African citizenship. However, if that's not possible, or if the directors are international, we will essentially need someone that could sign surety with a green South African ID book as a guarantor or as surety. Now, going into the businesses or the industries that we can assist, I heard, can we fund legal firms? Yes, we certainly can, so long as they've ticked the minimum requirements. Can we fund startups? Unfortunately not. The reason why we look at least 12 months of trading history is merchant capital does assume a bit of a risk because we're not asking for any assets to be pledged in us funding a business. So we need to have an understanding of the business owner, fully understands the industry they're in. They have survived 1 year of trade. They have been ticking the boxes in terms of daily or monthly revenue that meets 50,000 rands. That gives us a sense of comfort in extending that facility into that business.
Okay. All right. So I think in terms of, because I'm seeing questions also around the industries. So maybe you can tell us, are there any industries that you guys don't fund? Because I'm seeing a question about logistics. Do you fund logistics companies who are in logistics, transport business as well?
Yes, certainly, certainly. I think the key thing is to understand whether they've met the minimum criteria or not. We have funded quite a
Okay.
number of logistics businesses, quite a number of transport businesses, but I think one thing worth mentioning here is there needs to be a consistency in EFT transactions. So you could be
Okay.
running a very successful logistic business with 2 clients that pay you consistently over the last 2 years. We will unfortunately view that as a bit of a concentration risk because should you lose one or two, both of those clients, the business is no more. So would like you to have maybe a series of clients that are paying you at regular intervals within the month. Ideally, it's between 8 to 15 payments that are coming through and meeting that 50,000 Rand threshold per month. Then we can process your application and see how we can assist you.
Okay. Oh no, that's great. So I know people are sending in the questions. So also please take note that we have put in a link in case we don't go through all the questions. We have put in a link and it's gonna also be on our channels so that at least you can engage further with Merchant Capital and really have an assessment of your business. So to take that forward. So watch out for that link. That can you also share it again, Shane, on the link. So my other question now is, from your experience, Alfred, because you have been working with a lot of business, when is the right time for business to consider alternative funding?
Sure. When is the right time? I think when a business
Yeah.
is ready to grow, you know,
Yeah.
you should not make a decision until you're confident, until you're fully aware that this is the direction that I would like to take. So when you're ready
Yeah.
to grow, and you don't want to compromise on your cash flows, that's ideally when you should come through to Merchant Capital. Because what we don't want you to do is use all your reserves because you've seen an opportunity. There are certain things that could go wrong and not necessarily things that you would have calculated, but you've now depleted all your reserves. So when a business really wants to grow, does not want to compromise on their cash flow, whether it's buying stock, expanding into a new branch, or investing in equipment, our funding can help that particular individual move faster. So we're essentially here to help you bridge that gap.
Okay. So that means the question is, are you ready for growth and do you have whatever it takes for growth? So if yes, funding should not be something, a blockage that you have
Yes.
not for your business to move to the next level. Thank you for that. So the other question, what do you look for in business to decide whether the funding makes sense and will be successful? So I know you have mentioned that you look at 50,000 monthly. So can you just maybe elaborate as well? So the things that you look at as merchant capital, so that at least you determine that this funding makes sense and it will
Yeah.
be a successful funding.
Perfect. We look at trading activity and turnover trends and the business's ability to sustain repayments. We do have a robust credit model where our underwriting team would essentially call suppliers for references just to understand what your average order size is, how long you've been a client. We would also call the landlord, for example, if you are renting your place, and that's a form of us gathering a reference. Now, we certainly then look through the bank statements to see what your affordability is and to see if you can sustain the payments of merchant capital, whether it's on a daily debit order or a monthly, weekly debit order. We fund everyday businesses, such as retailers, medical practitioners, salons, who are generating income on a day-to-day basis. So that's how we look at to help businesses unlock the next chapter.
Okay. So how does merchant capital's funding model work, and how is it different from a typical loan, someone who's going to go straight to the loan, maybe in a layman's term, so that
Yeah.
at least our clients have a view, an understanding to say, versus if someone has to go to the bank and someone
Yeah.
have to come to you. Yeah.
So we look at the turnover of the business. We extend facilities based on a monthly revenue. So essentially, if you're doing, let's say, 250,000 rands, Merchant Capital could assist you with up to 250,000 rands. We then, as mentioned earlier, collect it either on a daily or weekly perspective, as opposed to the banks who offer you longer terms, such as 5 years, maybe even 10 years, and they're collecting on a monthly basis. They also do charge interest. Whereas with our particular product, we charge you just a fixed fee. Now, that fee remains the same throughout that cash advance term. So I'll give you an example. Please don't quote me on these figures. If we extend a 100,000 Rand facility to you, we could charge you 20,000 Rands. You then know you've got a total of 120,000 Rands to pay off merchant capital, whether that's over 3 months, whether that's over 6 months, whether that's over 9 months, or whether that's 12 months. So that's our slightly different from the banks. We don't have a rigid structure. Granted, we are deal makers as well, so we do tend to negotiate. But there is an element of us understanding the entrepreneur or the SME. We're not just going to give you a black and white offer. We do tend to operate in the gray where we should operate in the gray as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think it's very clear, and our clients and our audience here will be able to know exactly what is required and what is the difference as well. So I know as Brandmore Chartered Accountants, because we work with a different number of SMEs, and like what I said in our introduction, that we are here to grow business. And growing business is not all about accounting, but also meeting with partners like you. So for us, we would have done our due diligence, obvious, to say, are you going to bring value to our clients? But maybe in brief, what makes Merchant Capital a good partner for our clients and for the SMEs, small, medium enterprise as well? And even for you guys to actually partner with us, what makes you a good partner for our clients?
I think what Merchant Capital brings is a plethora of experience. We are trailblazers within this particular space. We started the business back in 2012, and you don't reach, 60,000 businesses in terms of funding by mistake, nor do you reach 15 billion in dispersed values by mistake. We've taken the time to understand the different industries, the different businesses, the different personas of business owners. So we move very quickly. We communicate clearly, and we provide funding products that are funding products designed or requested by the business owner. As I touched on earlier, we've got a Sharia compliant offering because we realized that there's a market that was underserved. So we created a solution that was speaking to the Muslim demographic in a way that they consume a product that's aligned with their religious beliefs. There is a young story that we have with our medical product that was birthed in COVID, where quite a number of medical practitioners were viewed as essential, but they didn't have the capital to assist them to get through and service clients that really needed medical attention. So we partnered up with Discovery at that point in time, and we formed a full product that's assisting medical products now until this day, despite us moving away from COVID. So we are quite on the pulse in terms of understanding what the market needs, and we tailor make our solutions for the requirement, that these business owners have. Now, for accountants, this means you have a partner you can trust, a partner you can entrust your clients to explore. There are certain lenders out there who are quite irresponsible, not necessarily within our space, but there are lenders that take advantage of business owners that are in a predicament and they can see that they're desperate. With accountants, you can rely on us to ensure that your clients are in safe hands. Should there ever be an issue where your client says, listen, I'm in a pickle and I need assistance, Merchant Capital is here. Should they ever be in a position where they've taken on a Merchant Capital facility, but something is going on in their business that you're fully aware of, you've got that open door to approach us as the referring accountant and say, here's my client I sent you 9 months ago. This is what's happened. Are we able to make a plan? And we have those conversations. So it's an open door policy essentially, but there is definitely a win-win. I like the fact that you had mentioned you guys are accountability partners. We are growth partners. So amalgamating the two, I think, is essentially what the SMEs in South Africa need, and there is definitely a win-win value proposition.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Alfred. There's a question here that came through. Do you assist with revolving loans for small business companies in travel? And also maybe linking that to travel, to travel. Do you, I don't know, travel or other platforms? Do you also consider business using key sales platform, like Take a Lot to buy stock? So there are two questions there. Do you assist with the revolving loans for travel business? Because remember, travel business, maybe they need to upfront fund a contract, pay things, stuff like that. Do you guys assist with that for companies in travel? And also, do you consider businesses using key sales platforms like Take a Lot to buy stock?
Okay. So I think there are three questions in there. The nature of our product is almost a revolving credit. In the event that we offer a facility over 12 months, we have an account management department that tracks every client's payments. And once about 30 to 40% of the original facility is paid off, we actually call the client and say, hey, you're 30 to 40% paid off. Do you have any other projects in your business that do require a facility? We call that a re-advance or a top-up. So there's always access to funding every 3 to 4 months that businesses have, or businesses that are within our ecosystem. Now, when it comes through to the travel sector, yes, we could potentially look at that, but it's important to understand that for us to assist, we look at historic trading history. For us to assist with a specific value is dependent on what the monthly turnover is. So there's a case where a business can come through to us asking for 250,000 rands to secure a new contract, but their revenue is 75,000 rands. That makes it difficult for us to extend the full facility that they want. What we can do, however, is offer them a facility within their affordability. It could be 50,000 rands. We reduce the term to perhaps maybe 3 months. So we know every month and a half they're coming through and accessing funds to a point where after maybe 9 months, they've now gathered the full 250,000 rands that they initially would have requested.
Okay.
Now, the last question, Marlon, I think I missed the last question. Could you please repeat it for me?
The Take a Lot one, that the way the business is operating. So I said, do you consider businesses using key sales platforms like Take a Lot to buy stock?
Yeah, we can, granted that they've met the minimum criteria of 12 years in trade with a turnover of 50,000 rands monthly. 12 months of trade.
Also that. Okay, no, that's fine. Can you share with us, Alfred? I know when in your presentation you have touched a bit about the business the restaurant that you guys assisted. So can you maybe share another real example of how business used your funding to unlock growth? Because you are saying you are growth partners, So how, besides the restaurant that you have shared?
Yeah, I certainly can. I think in the spirit of Women Month, there's an example that has come top to mind. There is a lady that was running an automotive business, and she was really catering for, the small bodyworks of a vehicle in terms of if you have a small scratch and a dent. And normally you don't need to take your car in for 5 to 9 days. It's just a quick 2 hour work. So she started catering to that market, and her biggest clients were car dealerships. But she saw an opportunity to align with the biggest insurance houses. But they had specific requirements. They needed a specific floor space that could accommodate X amount of cars. They needed that business to have specific machinery and specific booths for spray painting. And she really did not have the funds at that point of time, despite her business doing well. This was at a point where she decided, I need to grow, which is the point that we spoke about earlier. She then explored the merchant capital facility. We extended X amount into her business, and she then managed to purchase the machinery. She managed to get into a bigger warehouse. She created the spray painting booths, which ultimately allowed her to partner with the biggest insurance houses within South Africa. Now, to date, her business is thriving. She has taken multiple advances. There are certain times when we reach out to her through the accounting department or the account management department, and she says, you know what, guys, not at the moment, but let's touch base again maybe towards the end of the year. So she's fully understand how our product can be utilized and how it's had an impact in her business. But also she's fully aware that it's not every time that I should be taking out this particular loan value, only when the opportunity does arise. So to date, I think she's servicing, I would say, over 200 cars per on a monthly basis with the insurance houses that
Wow.
she's managed to partner up with.
Wow. So we can clearly see how this company really unlocked the growth. They're using the alternative funding that you offer. And I think the second from last is, does your company offer order-based funding for companies without the 12 months, and but they are already turning over 50K monthly?
So when you say order-based funding, could you please elaborate?
So they already have an order that they
Yes.
cannot fulfill because they need to buy the stock. Maybe they have the order, the contract is already there. But these guys are
Yes.
not yet 12 months in business. But the number of months that they are in business, they can prove that they've been turning over 50,000. Or is your 12 months a casting stone?
Look, we don't necessarily want to disqualify businesses unnecessarily. I think it really is just about having a look at the business at that point in
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
right? If it's a
Okay.
business that's running for 3 months, it's very tricky. But if you're bordering 10 months, if you're around 11 months and you're just 1 month shy, we certainly can
Yeah,
have a look at that business. We can't guarantee an approval because ultimately our
yeah.
credit would have had a look at the business. They would have seen the stance, or they would perhaps want to see more time in trade. But I would say anything between 9 to 12 months, we can have a conversation. We can see where you are. But anything below that, it makes it tricky for us to implement our particular model into the requirement that the business has.
Okay, so I think what I would just advise there is for the particular company that have shared this question to get in touch with you. We have shared
Yeah.
the link, and Shane, I think, can you put it again so that at least you can click that and you put in your requirement, and they'll be able to
Yeah.
assist you and help you there. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we had a lot of questions. My last one, if someone is not sure whether they are ready for funding, what's the next best step for them?
Perfect. I think it starts with a conversation. Whether you're speaking to your accountant, it's a conversation. Whether you're reaching out directly to Merchant Capital, it's a conversation. We review the business's performance essentially, and we can help you assess whether funding is the right thing for the business at the moment. We don't necessarily offer advice, but we can have genuine conversations in terms of seeing where your business is at, and we tailor make a solution for you. There has been cases where applicants come through saying, listen, I'd like to purchase a fridge. and it's a restaurant. Sorry, I'm a bit biased towards that particular industry. It's just the examples I have top of mind. And they say, I'd like to purchase a new fridge. And then we say, okay, fine. Have you noticed that the foot traffic within your restaurant is low? And then they'll respond, yes. Have you considered potentially buying some motorbikes? That could be a platform for you to deliver and get the food to the client's doorstep as opposed to relying on the client to come indoors. So these are conversations that we certainly have with business owners where it could shift their thinking. We're dealing with hundreds of business owners on a daily basis. We're kind of getting understanding of the different industries and the way they're being shaped and the way they're moving. There's certain things known as cloud kitchens, once again, within the restaurant space, where you don't really have to have four different stores. You could have one kitchen that's making pizza, another one making egg fried rice, another one making chicken, but you're delivering to specific clients. So everything really starts with a conversation where we meet you as a client or business owner where you are, and we can provide you the support that you require to get to the destination that you want to get to.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your time. I think we could have gone on and on because this topic is real, because we have seen that
Certainly.
companies are not unleashing the growth potential because of
Yeah.
limited funding option and knowledge. And for us, because we are your accountability partners, we have to make these webinars real so that at least our clients, our potential clients, get real help from experts like you. So thank you very much, Alfred. I want to thank you for the time, and thank you everyone who have logged into the session, to our online viewers as well, those that are on our different platforms. Thank you, and we're going to put the link should you want to get in touch with Alfred and their team so that at least you get the assistance that you need. So don't sit on your goal, don't sit on the potential growth that your company has without reaching out. Don't sit on it due to funding. Because who knows, maybe you're going to open another school if you are a school, or any other restaurant if you're in any industry that you are in. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Marlon, and thank you so much to the participants and the viewers. I really appreciate your time.